Hello Tarot Tribe, welcome back to the channel, and if you're joining us for the first time, welcome in. I am so excited to have you all here today because we are going to be getting into a review and flip through of this Tree of Life Oracle. I just received this a couple of days ago, and while it is a new to me deck, I know that this is quite popular, so I'm really excited to get into this and to share it with you guys and kind of experience this newness together. So with that, like I said, if you're new here, with this review, we talk about the packaging, we talk about what comes inside, and then we take a look at the integrity and construction of the cards and their pliability, and then we go through the flip through. So if you are purely interested in just seeing visuals of the cards, take a look down in the description below. I have timestamps down there and you can just kind of skip ahead. And if you're interested in seeing it all, then stick around and we will get into it. I think I'm also going to include at the end of the video a card pull so that we can reference the guidebook and really get a more in-depth feel of how that works in breaking down the interpretations of the cards for you guys. So with that, let's get to it. This packaging is one of those nice, strong, sturdy cardboard boxes, reminiscent of what the Apple products come into you, and it has a nice solid construction. It feels quality, and you know that your cards are going to be protected. If you are a packaging snob like me, you will be happy with how this is presented. On the outside, first the feel, the paper, it has this kind of like smooth matte finish. I would say semi-buttery. It doesn't quite feel exactly like a true rose petal finish, but it's very similar to it. But it doesn't feel as buttery as that. So I don't know if this is just because of the paper or if it is a little bit different finish. The next thing that we'll notice, and I should say more the first thing, is just this splash of color. The artistry on the outside is a beautiful sneak peek at what you're about to encounter with this deck. The artist has just done a magnificent job with this whole thing. And then more of the aesthetics from top to bottom. On the outside here we have the creator's name, David Wells, at the top, and underneath artwork by Robert Orpwood. And we have, again, that artwork in the background with this rainbow watercolor depiction. And we have the Tree of Life. We also have a mention of that it's a 44 card deck. There's a guidebook included. And then at the bottom we have the title of the deck, and that's actually written in a gold foil, the Tree of Life Oracle. On all sides of the lid of the box, they're mirrored with the title of the deck, the creator's name, and the publisher. The only difference is the watercolor paint colors that are on each side are different just because of how the continuation of that front artwork had transferred onto the sides, how it kind of spilled over, which I think is really cool. And since this is a two-piece box, we flip over onto the back and we have some information about the deck. We have some card pictorial images, but they're actually really small and quite hard to make out. And I don't know the deck well enough yet to recognize them by their imagery, but we'll see them once we get into our flip through. And then beneath that, we have some information on the creator and the artist. So I'll start at the top and read this out for you guys. Drawing on the mystic tradition of Kabbalah, this oracle will help you to learn more about the nature of the universe and yourself, connecting with your soul to fulfill your purpose. The Tree of Life is rich with symbolism, and these symbols from astrology, tarot, and ancient alchemy are reproduced throughout the cards. Use these mystical cards to gain a greater understanding of the path ahead. And then beneath the card pictures, I'll read that out for you guys. David Wells is an astrologer, past life therapist, author, and teacher of Kabbalah. And Roberta Orpwood is a multidisciplinary therapist, visionary artist, and illustrator. And then for both of them, they have their websites included. And so for that, in the description below, I also have their websites included for you guys in case you are interested in more of, to seek out more of their work. And in no way am I affiliated with them, no kickbacks, just to help you guys if you are interested in seeing more. So let's pop this beautiful box open and see what the rest of the packaging looks like. So on the inside of the box lid and base, you can see that the beautiful artwork paper outside is cut short here, and then we just see the paper that covers the cardboard box, but they didn't leave it white or brown. They covered it in this mint green, which mimics the background of the base of the box. And then on the lid, the only difference though is on the lid, you can kind of see this, what looks still like that watercolor effect in that mint green wash, whereas the base is just a flat mint green color. And then this cute little saying here on the inside of the box lid reads, "No two trees are alike. This is yours and yours alone. Grow, stand tall amongst the stars." Very cute. And so put that back together and let's get into our guidebook included in this deck. The first thing you notice is the cover is almost exactly the same as the cover of our box. It just doesn't reiterate that it's a 44 card deck, but everything else is the same, and it definitely does have that soft, smooth, velvety rose petal finish to it, which just feels amazing. Very nice binding here. It's a nice thick little white book, very quality feel, nice and sturdy and thick. And on the spine, we have the title of the deck, we have the creator's name, and we have the publisher. On the back, we have some information now about the deck and the guidebook. And so starting at the top, it reads, "Unlock life's mysteries and find answers. The tree of life is central to Kabbalah, a map of the universe and the psyche, the order of the creation of the cosmos, and a path to spiritual illumination, represented by 10 interconnected spheres. This deck of 44 cards, each rich with symbolism, harnesses the power of Kabbalah to change people's lives. In this guidebook, David Wells explains the meaning behind the symbols and suggests card layouts for readings and interpretation. The more you work with the cards, the more in tune you will be with yourself and the world around you. This mystical oracle deck is suitable for full or daily readings, as well as gently helping you to better understand the workings of Kabbalah, demystifying it and making it more accessible." And then at the very bottom, we have a photo of the creator, and to the side, it reads, "David Wells is an astrologer, past life therapist, and teacher. He is the author of Kabbalah Made Easy and 21 Days to Understand Kabbalah." And then again, his website there is mentioned. So let's take a look inside past our title pages. And then the first thing that we come across is a full table of contents. And I say full because we have it broken down to where every single individual card has its own entry and page reference, which I really appreciate, especially with an oracle deck that you may not be as familiar with the cards as you would a tarot deck. So it makes it a lot easier and quicker and more efficient to navigate through the book, especially one this size, so I love that. But we start out with an introduction. We give a background on Kabbalah and the Tree of Life, and then really talking about the cards themselves, how to work with the cards themselves. So explaining the deck, bonding with the cards, how to read them, some layouts offered, and then consolidating knowledge of the deck. And then we come into the interpretations of the individual cards themselves, and that's broken up into sections with magical forces, the Sephiroth, the paths, and then the Symbolarium, which we'll quickly take a look at. But there's our introduction, and as we can see here, I know it is important to some people, we have spread suggestions and references. So you can do a daily card pull, a 3-card lay they have in there, the Celtic Cross, of course, and then a deck-specific Tree of Life spread, which I find fascinating, and then the breakdown of that and how to read it and how to reference it. And then so there was the mention of the Symbolarium section in the back. Now these are not cards, so I'll read this for you. Symbolarium, I totally made that up, but I like it, so here it is. A little guide to some of the symbols you'll see on the cards, a reference to help with your own interpretations. It's not exhaustive, just some of the main images and symbols. Again, I would trust your own interpretation above all others. What these cards bring to your own awareness through your own experience, beliefs, and life path is your A-game. So this is really just a nice little micro reference for meanings of symbols, planetary, astrological, animals and birds, and just a section on things. So that includes like feathers and key and shield, stars, and then an area on for glyphs. So I think that was really clever to include it. Just this little tiny additional going above and beyond that sheds a little bit more insight onto the symbolism within the imagery of the cards, because there's definitely a lot of symbolism kind of like tucked in. I think in some of the cards it feels a little like a Where's Waldo, that there's so much stuffed into these. So like I said, we will come back to the guidebook once we're done with the flip through so that we can get a feel for how the cards and the guidebook work together in breaking down representation and interpretation and symbolism with a card, so that you guys can get an idea of that. So let's get into our cards, the meat and potatoes of this deck, these amazing cards. The first thing that you'll notice is the imagery on the back. We have this central circle with what appears to be tree roots, kind of all branching out in different directions, in that same watercolor paint effect, and the rainbow of colors bleeding through and bleeding together. In the background, we have that same mint green watercolor wash effect that we saw on the inside of the box. And then there are also some kind of dots and streaks here that I think was trying to be depicted as like a gold paint, but just know that's not in a gold foil. There is no gold foil on the book, just that one rendition of it there on the front of the box in the deck title. And the finish on these cards, I'm going to try to make it so that you guys can see, is just a smooth matte finish. It has a nice glide and a nice kind of a practical sheen to it, nothing over the top or no high gloss there. And with this kind of a finish, I think that it is universally friendly for all kinds of shufflers. So if you're a corgi shuffler, you know, you're not going to have any issues with this. It glides beautifully from card to card, a good slide there. And if you are a hand over hand shuffler, once you get past the newness of the cards and get some air in between them, of course, they'll slide beautifully over one another. And take a couple of these for my riffle shufflers with a side note. So decent, I can get a better grip on them, decent riffle shuffle there, but the side note is you will have that, the cards will hold the bend if you don't do a reverse back shuffle with them. But additional side note, you can manipulate them back so that they retain their original shape, and I think they do so. Obviously with time and multiple usages of these cards, that's probably not so much going to be the case anymore, but so keep that in mind. Talking about size here quick, we have pretty standard blocky, chunky Oracle deck dimensions. With my small hands, holding widthwise is comfortable, and lengthwise is almost fully attainable, but not quite. And please notice that the edges, they are not gilded. It is just that raw white edging. So I may not be able to see it here. With the artistry, it is an edge to edge kind of full bleed image on the card. So you can get a little bit of the colors peeking through at the edges, but it's not too significant. Just in case that that interests or bothers anybody, you will definitely see the rainbow of colors there in the deck off to the side. All right, let's pull an individual card out so you guys can get a feel for flexibility. Very pliable, very flexible. They have good flex to them. The thickness of the card just, it feels good. It feels solid. It's not over the top thickness. I think it's more like middle of the line here. But definitely not a cheap feel to it at all. I'm happy with this, but I'm also not a card snob, so I don't know quite what it is that a lot of people who are picky about the card stock, what it is that they're looking for, but this definitely is not like your cheap card stock for sure. All right, with that, I think we're good. I think we've touched upon everything with card integrity and mechanics here. So let's get into this review. The first thing that I'm gonna mention here to you guys is, as I go through this, I'll read the card title and the keywords off, but I'm not gonna go into pointing out specific symbols or details because there's a lot in these cards, but I will hold some space, a couple seconds for you guys to really be able to take a lot of that in as we go through our flip through. And then, like I said, at the end, we'll pull one of the cards out and get a reference for that in the book to get a feel for working with the guidebook as well. So with that, let's get into it. We have the Tree of Life with map, support, and connection. We have the middle pillar with backbone, balance, and the middle way. The pillar of severity with severity, courage, and form. Next is the pillar of mercy with grace, peace, and love. We have the spiritual triangle with divinity, creation, and manifestation. We have the soul triangle with mystical, soul-led, and harmony. Next is the personality triangle with personality, nature, and mindfulness. Now is where we're going to get into a lot of the detailed artistry with the cards, starting with the element of air with thoughts, mind, and communication. The element of fire with passion, enthusiasm, and creation. And the element of water of intuition, emotions, and love. The element of earth, practical, grounded, and determined. Number 1 with Keter, the crown, source, point, attainment. Number 2, Hokmah, wisdom, inspiration, spark, and the divine masculine. Next is number 3, Baina, of understanding, silence, awareness, and the divine feminine. Number 4, Hesed, of mercy, abundance, gratitude, and big ideas. Number 5, Geburah, of severity, might, discipline, and karma. Number 6, Tippereth, of beauty, balance, sacrifice, and joy. Number 7 is Netzach, with victory. We have hope, love, and art. Number 8 with Hod, of splendor, determination, communication, and initiative. Number 9 with Yesod, foundation, birth, cycles, and intuition. Number 10 with Malkuth and kingdom, earth, manifestation, being here and now. And Dot with knowledge, abyss, secrets, lessons yet to be realized. The 11th path with the Fool, leap of faith, freedom, and trust. The 12th path with magician, magic, divine mind, intent. The 13th path with the High Priestess and true knowledge, peace, and inner light. The 14th path with the Empress, creative endeavor, nurturing, and fertility. We have the 15th path with the Emperor, with initiative, authority, and leadership. The 16th path with the Hierophant, loyalty, kindness, and guidance. We have the 17th path with the Lovers, humor, choices, and intelligence. And the 18th path with the Chariot, of determination, discipline, and concentration. The 19th path of strength and lust, with defending the weak, peacekeeping, and sincerity. The 20th path with the Hermit, spiritual guidance, commitment, and a way shower. The 21st path of the Wheel of Fortune, with fortune, quest, and abundance. The 22nd path of justice or adjustment, karmic adjustment, balance, objectivity. The 23rd path with the Hanged Man, of tolerance, new perspective, and life purpose. We have the 24th path of death, with grief, rebirth, and transformation. And the 25th path with art, temperance, self-sufficiency, boldness, and devotion. Next, we have the 26th path with the Devil, of truth, illusion, and trust. And the 27th path with the Tower of courage, faith, and fighting spirit. Next is the 28th path of the Star, with hope, inspiration, and dreams. And we have the Moon on the 29th path, with evolution, simplicity, and the animal kingdom. Next is the Sun on the 30th path of purpose, vision, and self-mastery. The 31st path of judgment, Aeon, of fortitude, renewal, and truths revealed. And finally, the 32nd path of the world and universe, with independence, facing fears, and self-discipline. So that is our complete flip through of the Tree of Life Oracle. And like I said, let's get into this, and we will get a card coming through for us on this to see how we can interact with our guidebook on reading, breaking down, and interpreting one of the cards. We'll just go with the one on the bottom. And we have got number 3, Bina, with understanding, silence, awareness, and the divine feminine. All right, let's get into this. So we have number 3. We're going to go to the table of contents here so we can find this more easily. So Bina, understanding, page 58. And one thing with the entries in the guidebook that you'll notice is they do not include individual visual or pictorial representations of the cards, but I think it kind of makes up for that in the size and shape of the guidebook, that you could easily put your card there to reference as you're reading it and be able to see that imagery and those symbols directly beside you. And I think I would even prefer that a little bit better than having just a black and white image in there. kind of an all or nothing thing. So you can hold that card in your hand as you're reading, and I'll keep it here front and center for you guys as I read through. But the entry starts out with the number and the title of the card. It also includes those quick words at the bottom of the card. And then we have our first paragraph that I'll read. Number 3 on the Tree of Life, Bina is located at the top of the Pillar of Severity, a place that offers her a view of the whole tree, where she sits not in judgment, but in understanding, seeing all. Saturn is her planet, a planet of form, of control, time, and karma. Then we go into the features section, which reads, the main figure is a mature queen. Her role is to bring the worlds of energy into form, to give structure to the chaos, and to be the support for those seeking divine feminine wisdom. In the guidance section, it reads, we all need a bit of quiet time, the space to breathe, to bring some structure to events that may have been chaotic. You are invited to hold yourself in silence now, and to do it within the energetic field of one of the universe's most potent forces, the divine feminine. You may have to call on the strength of your own divine feminine energy, regardless of how you identify, to find the courage to get up and face a responsibility that has you weary. But you will continue to love even in the face of physical, mental, and emotional tiredness. Walk with someone who needs you to be present and to be nothing more than that, or seek someone who can do that for you. Your stillness will enable you to detach from your story, to write a new one, and to step into a new world stronger, with a greater understanding of your soul and what's next. And then the last section that we have are tips and real life application for how to activate the energies and messages of this card. So I'll read each of those now. Keeping your own counsel isn't always easy, but it is always advisable. And as you learn to release your energy when it's appropriate, if at all, practice putting space between thinking and acting in haste. The second activation tip reads, pause. Consider an option fully before doing anything. And the last one, spend some time in silent contemplation on a regular basis. So that is our little sneak peek and full review of this deck and how it works and coincides with the guidebook included. If you guys enjoy this review, if you got something out of it and you would want others to get the same, please consider liking, commenting, or subscribing, and so that can be shared with others, and so that you can get notifications on new videos, new reviews as they come up on my channel. I have a lot more decks to review, Oracle and Tarot together, and even some Kickstarter decks that will be coming my way in early of next spring. So I look forward to sharing that with you guys as well. Like I said in the beginning, I will be including in the description below the websites to the creator and the artist if you're interested in seeking out more works by those individuals. I will also include the link to the publisher of where you can purchase this deck if you're interested. So guys, I really appreciate you all being here and sticking through for this review. If you liked it, consider letting us know what you liked about the deck. If you have the deck and you have been using it, I would love to hear your feedback in the comments to get an idea of the energy and how it works for you and how you've bonded with this deck. So look forward to hearing from you guys. And with that, I hope you all have a beautiful, kind, and peaceful day. Please stay kind and humble and honest and present, and we will see you all next time here at Moon Arrow Tarot. Bye, guys.